We are American citizens. Why should we allow people like this, violent criminals that have no conscience at all, to murder our mothers, our sisters, our daughters? So we have to look at it as we are American citizens. We need to protect our families, our borders, our children.
Quite the moment yesterday. The White House there, the emotional scene, the mother of Rachel Morin, Patty Morin, recounting her daughter's murder at the hands of an illegal immigrant. Also voicing her support for President Trump's deportation agenda. Jeff Gahler is the sheriff of Harford County. That's in Maryland, where Rachel was murdered, and he's with us live from the town of Bel Air, county seat, about a mile from where Rachel's body was found. Sheriff, good morning to you.
Good morning, Bill.
Play soundbite number one, guys. Here's more from Patty Morin.
When he was sitting in the courtroom, he actually looked like he thought he was going to be set free. There was no remorse on his face at all. This person took my daughter so violently and so gruesomely and so graphically that they sealed the pictures.
Sheriff, I know you've gotten to know her very well, and you're very impressed by her. Before we get into details of what's happening in your state, what did you think of her appearance yesterday?
Oh, it's heartbreaking. And Patty does such a wonderful job for, a family member who has had such a tragedy suffered at the hands of a criminal illegal alien. Is this situation, and as she said, it wasn't just a homicide; it was horrific, and she had to sit there through the court process and listen to the graphic detail of what this monster did to her daughter. It's heartbreaking. And we have another case in our county. Kayla Hamilton, her mom, Tammy, was also interviewed on some of the news places this morning, who suffered the exact same tragedy that does not need to happen, because we need to get a handle on our border. And thankfully, the last election went well, and President Trump is doing just that.
Let me run through a couple of things. You've been to the border twice. You willingly work with ICE in the state of Maryland. You've got a state law there, 287G, that allows local law enforcement to cooperate with ICE.
We have a federal partnership with ICE. It's corrections-based.
How's that going?
We're one of three sheriffs. It's going great. The Maryland legislature tried to take it away from us this year because the far left has just lost their mind. Prime example of Senator Van Hollen going down there to try to bring a terrorist back to the United States. Our legislature tried to stop us. Thankfully, that failed, but we're continuing to cooperate with ICE and move criminal illegal aliens from our community, so we don't have more stories like Rachel or Kayla Hamilton, and more broken families like you see from Patty Morin. It just breaks your heart to see her.
Here's Mike Banks, Border Patrol Chief, who was in Texas on our program yesterday.
Under this administration, they have literally taken the handcuffs off and allowed us to enforce law instead of policies that were created to contradict the law. And so our morale has continued to rise.
All right. Month of March a year ago, 137,473 encounters at the border. This March, 7,181, a decrease of 95%. That goes to the point that you're talking about there, sir. And, you're in the state with the quote-unquote Maryland man that's been in the news. What do you think of his deportation to El Salvador?
Good for my community, good for my state, good for my community, good for this country. President Trump designated MS-13. I don't think any police chief or sheriff in the country who's being honest is not going to say it's not a terrorist organization. That individual has been removed from our country, who should have been removed earlier. And we have the left. We have Senator Van Hollen, who couldn't even reach out to Patty or Tammy, Kayla's mom, at the tragic taking of the daughter's lives. But he can fly down there on taxpayer dollars to bring a terrorist home to Maryland.
Yeah,
we
just
don't want
to be
that.
clear
we
on
don't
that,
want him in the country.
You've looked at that case, right? You've looked at the evidence. Are you convinced, as the White House says, he's an MS-13 member?
Oh, 1,000%. Yes, indeed. 1,000%.
1,000.
No doubt. Not only that, he's no doubt, and he's a domestic violence abuser. I mean, in our community, we would screen him working with ICE, and hopefully they would decide to take removal proceedings for just that reason. And he's been through removal proceedings before, and they asked for him to be removed, and yet he was still here. So kudos on the Trump administration for removing a criminal. Horrible on Senator Van Hollen for wanting to bring him back.
Okay, we'll see how the senator's trip goes. Jeff Gahler, thank you, Sheriff. northeast of
Thank you, Bill.
Baltimore. Thank you for your time.
I'm Steve Ducey.
I'm Brian Kilmeade.
And I'm Ainsley Earhart. And click here to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page to catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis.